Yo, wait. Oh my God, I think my camera's all like tilted upwards. Yeah. And not to mention that my green screen is terrible. All right. Be right back. Can you tell that it's been a while since I've done this? Okay, let's now give this a try. Hopefully this won't be terrible. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Let's full screen that so we can get a good look at it. Yeah. All right. So, I've been gone a while. Let me double check that. I don't like that. I guess that's fine. That's fine. I've been gone a while. Honestly, I've just been busy, tired, and lazy. Last week I had, preparing for this week of my job. It's a long story. And the week before that, I just kind of, lined a lot of stuff up that just so happened to land on the days that I would normally assign for this. And any other days that I actually kind of felt like, doing this, I just didn't. So, but I'm back. I think I can get back to it now. We're kind of in a normal flow state at work. Sort of. We're gonna see. Unless that's that one. No. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna pick up right where we left off and just get to it. It's 9:75 right now. So we were talking about loops, I believe. Return as value. Well, yeah, loops and stuff like that was the past couple lessons we were doing. I'm just checking on my stream. It looks everything's okay. But now we're on this. Oh, God. So, appending and popping values from arrays. In previous lessons, you've learned how to create arrays, to store lists and values, how to loop over them. The main strength of GDScript arrays is that you can add or remove values from them at any time. This lets you build waiting lines of data or pipes of data we call... Holy crap. Huh? See, told you I've been tired from work. And stacks, respectively. We'll see what that means this lesson. Let's look at a concrete example. Tracking orders in a restaurant management game. You're making a restaurant management game where customers place orders and you need to handle them one by one. In this example, customers order meals that end up in a waiting line, a queue, and you need to prepare them in the kitchen. We simulate orders arriving and getting completed over time. That's pretty cool. How do you keep track of pending and completed orders with an array? When a customer purchases a meal, you want to append or add it to the array. Then, as you complete a meal in the kitchen and serve it, you want to remove it from the array. You can use the append function to add values at the end of an array to remove values from the start. You can add values at the end of an array to remove values from the start. You can use the pop front function. We call it pop because the value jumps out of the array. Try to read the code below. Moving on. Don't worry if not everything makes sense. We'll break it down. Waiting orders is you create a variable that's waiting orders. That's blank by default. Completed orders is blank by default. Add order is the function or meal name will be the variable that's in there. Waiting orders, then append the meal name is what you append with. Complete current order. First order is equal to waiting orders pop front. Completed orders append first order. I kind of get that. Oh, my eyes are burning. What? Oh, man. Notice how we call some functions by writing a dot at the end of a variable name. Just like some values have variables you can access with a dot, like x variable in position x. They can also have their own functions. Functions like append and pop front only exist on arrays. To call them, we need to write an array name, then a dot, then function. Then the function, array name, append, whatever. Let's break down the code. Let's break down the code. We add orders to the waiting orders array by appending them. So waiting orders is equal to blank by default. Add orders is meal name, which is what will be placed in there. Waiting orders is append to meal name, which will end it at the end. Add order, cheese sandwich. We can use a string to represent the meal when calling the add order function. We complete an order. When completing an order, we remove it from the waiting orders array by calling its pop front function. This function gives us the order back, which allows us to assign it to a temporary variable. Create current order. First order is equal to waiting orders pop front. Waiting orders is the append, so that'll add to the end of it. We can append the order to our completed order. Huh? I suppose I'm a little lost on this. Append first order. When we use an array this way, we call it a queue. The first element we add to the array is the first one. It's like waiting in line at a store. What does hashtag mean? It's a comment. Oh, more code here. 3 dots mean we're not showing all of the code. It's a code comment. Yeah. Oh my God, what is up with my eyes right now? Did something get in my eye? Holy crap. Use another common array is stacks of data. Take factory management game where you need to retrieve materials from stacks of crates. They arrive in the factory piled up vertically, and you need to take them from the top to bottom. This is the array. Use top crate is the function. Variable crate. Crate equals crates pop back. Use crate. What? Pop back. I don't understand. To create an array from the to create from the back of array, this time we use pop back array function. This function removes or pops the last value from the array and returns it to you. Okay. Because it goes backwards. Pop front goes forwards. Here we pop the last value of the array and print what's left of the array to demonstrate how the array gets smaller. Function run. Crates dot pop back. Print crates. I kind of get that now. It's just that, pop back, it kind of just creates that. It does that in these lessons a lot, where it's just like, oh, this is a function we made for you for this specific example, but it doesn't tell you how it works. So it's not like, oh, pop back, I can go back and basically create this or whatever it is. Or maybe it's baked into it, so like it doesn't matter what you're doing, pop back is an actual thing that exists within the code. Or within like the functions you can do in GD script. But it's just like, I don't know. I guess it just never became clear or never really clicked for me. What is going on here? It is like got dark shades here. What is up with that? Like pop front, the function returns the value from the array. All right. Let's try that. That's going to be bright as hell, isn't it? Oh my god, I actually no, wait. It didn't really fix. So it has to be really close, otherwise, or that end has to be tight. Oh, whatever. Well, we're going to see here in a minute, aren't we? Like pop front, function value removed from the array. That is awful. I look like I just grew like 5 shades paler. That's terrible. Like pop front, the function value removes array. You will often store that value in a variable. This value could be the crate's content, which you can use to give the resources to the player. From the array. When you use an array this way, we call it a stack. The last element we add is to the first one we move. It's like a pile of plates where you take from the top. Okay. I'm gonna believe you there. The waiting orders array will be filled over time. Your job is to move orders from the waiting list to the completed orders list by using array append and pop front functions. Completed orders. Add order the meal name. Waiting orders append meal name. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's such a very specific example that it's just like I can't see the scope of it, and it doesn't allow me to understand it because I don't get it. I don't get what it's doing, if that makes any sense. Like, I know that there's been functions in other programs that I've used, but it's just like, oh, this is a thing you can do. This is how you use it in this specific example. But it doesn't tell you what it does to do that, if that makes any sense. Add order. Yeah, because I'm just supposed to be like, oh yeah, create this function, add order, in the meal name. And append adds it? Is that what it's saying it does? You can use the append function to add values to the end of an array. To remove values from the start, you can use pop front. It's just such a stupid name, I guess, too. I don't know, maybe first value, or I don't know. I guess I just would name it differently, which is makes me wonder, like, can I name it differently in like the wild, if that makes any sense? We call it pop because it jumps out of the array. Okay, so add order, meal name. Whoops. I totally forgot it. Func add order meal name. Waiting orders append the with meal name add order. Wait, no, but that's not even right because there's already a func there. Okay, so I need to add this. If I can remember to do that. My scroll just stops working sometimes on this. This is a brand new mess. I know it's not that. Order meal name waiting orders sure, right? Meal name. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't even know what to do. Moves a value from returns it. Returns it means it prints. First, you need to pop the first value from a pending orders array. To pop the value. So, well, then it would be waiting orders pop front meal name. Add order already exists. What? No, it doesn't. You're trying to find a function or variable that already exists. You can't do that. So, what? I'm sorry. What? No, it doesn't. It's nowhere here. Just give me the fucking solution. Where is add order in the solution? Already exists in this class. I'm sorry, what?
Is anybody from that company going to be there?
Current order. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? It just tells you to do this shit, and it's just like, yeah, we're not going to explain what it does or the methodology behind it. It's just like, oh, this is a function that exists. This is what it does. Now do that. And it's just like, okay, cool. I can't really wrap my head around it, and I don't understand what it does, so I don't know where to put it. It's like giving someone a crowbar and be like, all right, go, who's never seen a crowbar before, and it's like, all right, go use that tool for its intended purpose. And you're like, okay, what does it do? It pries stuff open. Okay, cool. How do I use that? In this very specific example, That's how you use it. But you need to use it for another thing that's very similar but different. Because, like, that's why I put add order here. And that's why I'm confused add order already exists despite not being on the page. Because when you showed me earlier, it was there. So I'm thinking, okay, well, in order for this to even work in the first place, this has to be here. Because I don't understand how it stands alone on its own. So that's not it. I want to understand this, but I'm just like, okay, cool. Complete order. The variable complete order is equal to the waiting orders popped, right? So, because the fact that, like, I don't need it explained in, like, gruesome detail, but, like, tell me, like, what it does on its own. Because, like, I don't know. Why does add order already exist, but I can't see it? You see what I'm saying? Which means it's there, it's just hidden for the sake of the lesson. Why? Because that means that, like, if I go based on this example, I'm just going to expect not the add order to be there, or, like, it just to run on its own. But that may not be the reality. It won't just add the add order to it, right? That's something you got to define and put in the code. But if you hide it from me, yeah, see, like this? Like, why is this like this? I need to see why that's like that. Community orders array is empty. Are you sure you append the elements? We found no call to append function. Did you forget to call it? Pop front function. Did you forget to call it? I did, but on purpose, because I don't understand why that's happening. Like, I don't understand why we're doing this. Watch, because it doesn't fix the syntax here, right? So I'm going to type this in. Why am I constantly putting in brackets? Dot append okay, so let's look at what we got. Well, this isn't going to work, and I need to know why, because this is here, and I guarantee you there's like a parentheses, and it's just like, are you sure you appended? Did you forget to call it? I'm sure it's like, yeah. Yeah, like, look at the solution here. Oh, because it's tiny. Yeah, let's just do that. I've been doing it in the browser just because, why not? But we're going to do that from now on. But even here, right? I mean, I guess I should have known that, but, like, you could totally make that bigger, right? I'm just trying to understand what it's doing, right? So these are blank by default. That makes sense. To complete the current order, you first have to create a variable within this. That completed order is the waiting order's pop front. So, however, the hidden thing that I cannot see that adds the orders to this array, which I don't know why you would hide that from me, if I'm supposed to break down and understand how this works. But whatever. I know that it's there, and it's adding to this. Completed orders append from where, right? Adds values passed as an argument at the back of the array. Adds the value passed as an argument at the back of the array. I wish it had a step. Like you could step through it. Because this is completed order, right? Append completed order. Completed orders append completed order. So I guess what's happening is that, again, the hidden thing that they don't show me for some reason, adds it waiting orders from the waiting orders. So again, it's hidden, so I don't really know what's going on. But I'm thinking that whatever the added, whatever, goes to waiting orders, right? Or maybe like it's already defined, right? And so I don't know. Let's go up. Yeah, this is what's hidden, right? It appends meal name. Now, where meal name is coming from, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So even here in the examples before having me do it on my own, you're hiding stuff from me. So I have no idea how all this works relative to each other. Like, I'm assuming that in the real world, in the wild, it's somewhere within this function, like probably right after this, before this, there would be meal name array made in this, and it's a list of it, and you just, the append adds it to waiting. And so then it adds to that complete current order. The first order is the waiting order pop front. Pop front returns the order. Functions like pop front. You pop front. We call it pop. You can use an append to add values and to remove values from the start. You use pop front, which I guess pop front also prints it, or it just moves it. Yeah, because it removes it, right? Removes a value from the start. But does it go to the append, or does it go to... Like, I don't understand how this works relative to anything. Add order, meal name. Yeah, like, because this is the whole fucking mystery, right? Meal name. Is that a function that just exists in GD's script? Or was that defined somewhere and you're just hiding it from me? Waiting orders append the meal name. So if append as values at the end of the array, that means that, yeah, this is defined somewhere and it's just hidden. And the meal name is being added to the end of this. This is blank by default and it's being added to. Cool, I understand append now. First order is the pop front. So remove values from the start, we call it pop. Right. So pop front removes it. Right? Completed orders append first order. So that means that first order removes the first thing from the array. Right? And I guess it kind of just holds it because append adds it to the end of an array. The first order is what is removed from waiting orders. It appends this, which adds it, right? And it appends whatever is in first order. waiting for orders. It takes that out. Completed orders is going to but then this is called complete current order, which is the function of what it's doing. Append first order. Based on what's in here. So it adds that to the end of the array of completed orders. And it just reads out what comes next. Sure? Fine? It creates the variable, which is the completed order that is the waiting orders that is orders array that has been taken out of that one. Also, the way they name shit here is fucking goofy. Completed orders. Yeah, because is going to be this array. Well, this variable exists on its own in this function, so that's okay, I guess. Completed orders, which is this variable, is going to have whatever is popped front appended to it via completed order. Sure, I guess. Because, like, you see it step through here. Right? Yeah, like, you see it step through here. So, pop front goes somewhere. And I guess that's a part of the magic of it. But it's just like, that would be real nice of what exactly happens here. Because it grabs what's in front and just... So it grabs what's in front of here, puts it in here for the, I guess, the temporary variable. I don't know what it's called in this case. And whatever is put in here, because it runs through one at a time, I guess. Because I don't know how, like, it does it slowly instead of just instantly putting it over there. Which is probably something else they're hiding. I don't know. And then it puts it in here with the append based on what's in here, this temporary variable. I think I pretty much got it, but sure. Crates are piling up on the platform. Move them out of the way by popping them from the crates array. This is the crates. This is what's here. You need to remove them from top to bottom using the array pop back while... Show me the solution, because this is that. While crates pop back. What? Oh, let me put that in there so I can see it. What? So that's that, right? These are all the stuff. While crates. What does that mean? Like, while it has variables in it? Well, if it pops back, where does it go? Does it just get straight up deleted? Is that what it's saying? And so, while it still has something in the array, it just pops that back? Again, I wish you could step. Removes the last variable from the array and returns it. Yeah, okay, cool. But like, while. And it's just while, right? So it's not like while crates is less than or is greater than 0, which makes sense because there's strings in here. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this part I can feel like I can get a bit more simply. You can check if the crates array still has values by writing while crates. This works as an empty array, counts as false. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what's happening. While just checks if there's anything in the array. Pop back just, and it returns it. Sure, I've gotten that mostly. Like, I've mostly got that. You learn to loop over the values in an array using for keyword. For value in array, print value. But what if you need to access the third? Oh, man. Access the third item, the 10th item. Get notation to access one element in an array by index. So you square brackets the number inside the brackets. Okay, var inventory. This is your inventory. Run. Use item inventory number 0. Yeah, okay, cool. That makes sense. I got it. Index is the second element in the array, and so on. It counts the 0 in the indexing. Third item. And indices start at 0. What if you want to access the last or second before last item in the inventory? In that case, you can use negative indices. If you write -1 in brackets, you will get the last item in the array. Yeah, because 0 is the first one, so negative would just wrap right back around to the end one. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. Third to last. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. That's pretty clever. I've never seen that because I've seen, like, negatives break stuff. So cool. Yeah, okay. You can't exist in non-existent indices. There's a catch with this syntax. If you try to access an index that does not exist, you'll get an error. You have to be careful. There's a couple ways to be careful. Checking the array size. Checking the array size. A member function attached to a specific value type, like arrays, strings, or dictionaries. The methods. Allow me to show you the method. For example, arrays have a number of functions like array append. You can only call a function on the array using the access operator. Okay, cool. Its current size. Inventory dot size, which shows you how many items in there, which, interestingly enough, it does not index, so it probably is just like, oh, this is the actual, like, numbers of stuff in there. Cool, okay. The maximum index you can access is array. The maximum index you can access in an array is array point size -1. It's the last item in the array. Yeah, thank you for the tiny boxes as well. That doesn't really help. Last item in index is inventory size -1, which will, yeah, always show you the last one. Right. Use item inventory last item index, which is this, the variable defined on the inside of this. Yeah, okay, cool. And it has to be in the brackets because it's a variable? Oh. Yeah, sure, okay. That makes a bit sense. So, in our game, the player has an inventory that works as an array under the hood. The player knows they have a sword and shield somewhere in the inventory, but they don't remember exactly where. You can see the inventory drawn on the right, along with your index. Whew, what the hell, man? But they don't remember exactly. You can see the inventory drawn on the right, along with the index of each number in the array. Your task is to find one sword and one shield in the array. Using their index, they call use item on each of them, so the player can equip those items. For example, if the first item in the array is what you need, you will call use item array. Okay. Pick items. Use item in the inventory brackets. One and two. Oh, probably need to do that. Expected bracket. This, when you wrote something that is syntactically invalid. Well, let's see this. Explain. Highly contextual. Excellent. Okay, cool. So, I didn't know it was like that. So you can't... What? I thought I could go... Show me the solution. I have to do it individually? That's so fucking crazy. That's so fucking wild. Wow, okay. Fixed tracks. We have a train tracks broken into little chunks. In our game, we use them to make modular tracks. Draw circuits around. Things are misaligned. You need to tracks and pass them through the line function. To do so, you need to access the array by index. Some with negative indices. Okay, I figured it was going to be the negative stuff. But, this is what I'm talking about. The align function. It's just like, cool, we made this thing specifically for this practice. Whether or not that's a real thing that exists, by itself in GDScript or not is irrelevant. Because we're just going to hide it from you. Because I guess to give all the context of the code, it would be, too complicated and too long. But it's just we're building off of the knowledge that we've gotten in these lessons. I think by the 23rd lesson, you can keep all that stuff there so I can look at it and see what it's doing. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just me. But, yeah, sure. Use solution. Like, I understand what it's doing. Isn't... Okay, well, let's run this so I can be done with it, and it'll... I feel like... okay, because, like, it goes size, right? Because couple array with member size, you can call array to know the current size. Again, I would love to watch it step, because I believe, or at least rather I'm guessing, that when you step this, it's gonna like go inventory size 1, inventory size 2. So is there not a function for inventory size like negative, and it'll just go backwards? I don't know, man. Solution, use solution, run. Because I feel like running this each time is like super inefficient. I mean, I don't know. That's just me, and we're still learning here, but I don't know. I feel there has to be an easier way than that. Because if you want to like look through every... Because like, what if your train track size is way bigger than that? Or smaller, or just different sizes or whatever. I don't know. I'm overthinking it right now, but whatever. Okay. Creating dictionaries. In the last lesson, we used an array to represent a player's inventory. With just an array of items array of item names, though, we can't easily keep track of amount of each of them. Instead, we can bundle the item names and amounts into a single dictionary. Dictionary is a data structure that maps values with key value pairs. When you give the dictionary a key, it finds and gives you back the corresponding value. Okay, a dictionary is a data structure that allows you to map pairs of values in the pair. We call the first value a key, as we use to access the second. In other words, a dictionary is a list of keys. Each key points to a value. To define a dictionary, we use curly brackets. The colon separates each key and its value. Comma separates the key and value. Okay. Dictionaries can hold any values. Dictionaries can map out any value to another value. For example, we can use the name of an item as a key and the amount as the corresponding value. This makes dictionaries excellent for keeping track of a player's inventory. For example, we can use the name of an item as a key and the amount as a corresponding value. So, like, placement in the array, I'm guessing? Or, like, just value in general. Like, it's also equal to 3. Like, Healing Heart is just 3 as well. Here we match the name of a string to the amount, a number, but a key could be a string and a number or even a vector. Although we can have all these different keys, keep in mind that every key has to be unique. This means we couldn't have a dictionary like the following. Right. Duplication key. In the example above, which key caused an error? Right. Dictionaries are also called mappings or associative arrays. Under the hood, they use arrays and several functions to effectively store... See, this is what I'm talking about. This is perfect. This is what we need. Under the hood, they use arrays and several functions to effectively store and receive values across arrays. Precisely, dictionaries use a hashing algorithm. Hashing algorithms convert one value into another. In this case, hashing consists of converting a given t into a unique whole number. Right, so as I was asking before, does this just equal 3 now? Yes, it just equals 3, which is, I guess, an identifying number, a key identifying number I can use to refer as, but like, what's the limitation on that? Because I can't be like, oh yeah, what is 3? And it just to know what it is. Well, I'm sure I'll get into it, but still. The whole number, the dictionary uses that number as an array index, and as an array's index. So it's also the placement in an array, but also its value. Okay. That's how a dictionary works. When you give it a key, it converts it into a unique index and uses that index to retrieve the corresponding value in the computer's memory. That's also why you can't have the same key twice. It would map to the same array index, causing it to overwrite an existing value. We can access the value of keys by writing dictionary name with the key in the square brackets. How would you access how many gems the player has? How would you access how many gems the player has? We need to make sure the key is the same as we defined in the dictionary. In our case, our item gems is correct. Oh, well, yeah, I guess because it wouldn't be named the same. You can also change values directly, which is useful in our case for adding or removing items from the player's inventory. Cool. Inventory, add healing heart. In the following practices, we will use dictionary to create a player's inventory and create functions to change the values of them. Okay, sure. All right, let's give some items to the player. We use a dictionary function for the player's inventory. We define the inventory variable for you, but it contains no items yet. Give the player the following items, adding the correct keys. Okay. So, 3 healing heart. Let me see if I'm going down now. Oh, wait, huh? Given the right keys, adding correct keys to the value. Which, why is this not the key? Yeah, this is the key. This is the value. So this is the key, this is the value. Adding the correct keys and the values. Inventory defined as inventory variable, but it contains no items yet. I'm sorry. So this is the key. So the key is what's held? A dictionary is a data structure that allows you to map pairs of values in the diction. Values in the pair. Call the first value key as we use it to access the second. In other words, a dictionary is a list of keys. Each key point to a value. Okay, but why though? Why is it like this? Okay, for example, we use the name of this item as a key. and the amount as a corresponding value, which dictionary is excellent for keeping track of players' inventory. Oh, it's the number of each. Oh, so there's 5 healing hearts. There's 5 gems. There's 3 healing hearts. There's 1 sword. But also, that's the placement in the array? Or is the dictionary the array? I mean, that's probably it. So that makes a bit more sense now. Oh, whoops. Okay, yeah, that took a minute to click, but it clicked. If I could just... That would be so nice if I could just... Thank you. Okay, so yeah, no, that makes a bit more sense now. So, there are 3 healing heart, 3. The key is the gems, and there are 9 of them. And the key is the sword, and we've got 1 of them. Oh, I did that completely wrong. Oh. So bracket space, kind of like making a... Whoops. I would love to be able to click anywhere sometimes with this. And then there has to be commas because it's an array. So, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Oh! Yeah, and it just tells you, yeah. That clicked. Took a minute, but I got it. All right. We want to change the item counts in the player's inventory whenever the player picks up or uses an item. We've started the add function for you. The inventory dictionary should use the add item parameter as the key. So first of all, it's going to be this. Inventory parameter as the key. In values, we should increase the value by amount. To test this practice, use your add item function to increase the number of healing hearts, gems, and swords. What? Okay, well, we're going to go with this. You can access the value in inventory in the inventory dictionary by using inventory item name. Okay, but remember to add to the value. You can do this directly with plus. Okay, so that's not it. Access the value in the inventory dictionary by using inventory. Isn't declared in the current scope. What? Oh, wait, hold on. Sure. It's not declared in the scope. I don't understand. What's the solution? Just show me it. So I was half right. What's the syntax that I'm missing here? Isn't declared. Oh, I'm stupid. Wait, what? So, add items to the function, right? And what it does is it adds the item name and the amount. I don't get it. Yeah, no, I don't get it. Again, they're hiding a whole bunch of other shit that's going on in the background that just doesn't... Again, I also would like to, step so that way I could see what's going on. But they're also hiding everything else. So I'm just like, well, I have no idea what's going on and how this is supposed to work. I guess I'm just stupid. But it's just like, I would like to see what's going on so that way, oh, this is what it's doing, and I can use it there. But whatever, I suppose. You can loop over dictionaries just like you learn to loop over arrays. When you loop over a dictionary, you get its key one by one. You can use each key to get its value. Let's see how this works with two examples. To display the player's inventory, you need to know what it contains, the name and the amount of each item. To do this, you loop over the dictionary and process each key value pair one at a time. You can get the list of all the keys in the dictionary by calling its keys function. So this is the library, this is the inventory. This is the key, and this is the value of it. So basically how many there is. In this run function, for item name and inventory, get the keys. So for every item that's in inventory, you got to get the keys. Then you print it. And because the keys are linked to the name, it prints the name. But what I'm not what? How? I did this. I did this. What in the world? Oh my God. It didn't let... If you use the solution, it doesn't count. I mean, I guess that's fair, I suppose. Oh, wait, no, this is... I still kind of barely... Oh, because I can't spell. I'm a goddamn cretin. Cretes. Oh my God. Oh, also because I put cretes there. I promise I'm not that illiterate. I just try and... I did it again. I just try and type faster than my brain is ready for or something. I don't know. Let's really test this theory, because it probably doesn't keep track of that. I'd imagine it would, but it probably doesn't. It does. Yeah, it does. So you have to write it out. Again, there has to be an easier way than that. Especially since I have a hard time copying and pasting in this fucking thing. Copy and paste is your friend. Okay. But what I was going to go back for was... Yeah, it adds, right? One inventory, healing heart. You can also choose values directly, which... Adding or removing... Because... This is the inventory. Okay, so you're just calling that specific key and then add... Okay, yeah. All right, we're cool. I just was like trying to clear up on that. Looping over a dictionary key is common and it gives you a shortcut. Common that just gives you a shortcut. You can write the dictionary variable name directly after the in keyword in a for loop. For every item name in an inventory, print the name. Yeah. Remember, the name for the keyword is a variable name you choose yourself. You can call item name, item key, or anything else. This variable holds one key at a time as the loop runs. You can get each value with a syntax dictionary key, as you learned in your previous lesson. Get the key. These are the keys for every... Alright. So we can loop over the inventory keys and get their values and display the information on screen. For every item in the inventory dictionary, for this function, the item count, which is the very new variable, is equal to the item name, which is the key? Yeah. Because it would be previously defined here. Or somewhere else or something or the other. Right? And then the value is that, right? So print item name plus the string, and item count. Okay, because it's going to print this, which is that, which is already a string, and then you're going to add this to the end of it with a space, and then the number, which is the item count, which is the value. Okay, I think I kind of get it. Instead of printing the key value pairs to the output console, we can write and call a function that displays items on the screen. For every item in the inventory dictionary, in this variable, item count, the inventory, the name, or I guess the key, then display item, which is that. Right, okay. Mapping grid cells to units. You can also use a dictionary to store which units are at which positions on the game board. Flipping the script entirely. This is how you typically code a board game, a grid-based RPG or tactical RPG. So far we use string keys, but GDScript dictionaries can use any type as a key. In this example, we use the vector2 values, vector. Oh yeah. Where's that? This only rule in every key in a dictionary must be unique. The only rule is that every key... Okay, yeah. For the for loop, for every cell that has units in it, with a for loop, you can place all the units on the board when the game starts. Seeing as this is the vector, this is the unit. For every cell, which is this, in the units, which is this, place unit in this thing. Okay. Yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, we use a dictionary to store the player's inventory. The keys are item names, and the values are how many of each item the player has. Loop over the dictionary and display every item name in the inventory. So you need for every call display item. Okay, display item string creates new item and displays it in the inventory. The display item function needs the item name and its amount. You need to get the item name using the item name as a key. For every item name in inventory, display item name item value. The indication of your code, the number of tab characters in the start line. Okay. Oh, that might be why. I have no idea why I do that, but I certainly do. Item value. Just show me what it is. Again, let me look at the hints. Inside the for loop, you can get the amount of each item using inside the for loop, you can get the amount of each item using the syntax inventory item name. Where the item name is the loop variable created. Where item name is the loop variable you created after the for keyword. Okay, so I'm missing. Nice to know I was at least close. Then you have to define the variable. Why did I do that? Why can't I control my typing? Item count, or I guess value, is equal to inventory item name, but why? And I also did the wrong ones. Display item. I kind of get why that happens. But like the value, which is here, why? Because this is the item name, item inventory. Yeah, they're hiding stuff. They're absolutely hiding stuff because it's just like, well, why would I do that by the name and not by the value? This is the key. No, this is the key for item name in inventory. For every item name in inventory. Okay, so for every item name in inventory, item value is the inventory item name. But why though? That's the inventory. This is the key. This is the value. For every name in inventory. So they have to be hiding that from me, essentially. For every we have a dictionary named units. For every cell in units, then the variable has to be dictionary keys are cell coordinates. You can use them to access the unit type from inside the for loop. You can get units type using the syntax. Units is the loop variable you created after for the keyword. I got that. Again, naming conventions, people. That's pretty important too. Unit is units cell. But like, why is this called cell? Like, because it's for every cell in units, because this is the dictionary for units. We're calling this a cell, but we don't have to define that? This is what I'm talking about. Place unit cell unit. I just don't get that. I guess maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's just like, holy fuck, man, I don't understand. Unit, this part I get, because this is the library we're calling. I'm assuming this gets turned into, or rather, it gets named a cell when it's referenced here. And then units, or unit, this brand new variable in which you've defined here, is the cell, which is this. So this defines this, which would print this, and each unit is this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I give up. And the sad shit is I know for a fact, based on what's happening, I know for a fact I'm going to have to end up using that. Where are we at? We're almost done, lads. We're almost done. And then we'll get to the videos, I suppose. In your code, values have a particular type. You have already learned about vectors and dictionaries. The computer uses a type of value to know which operators and functions you can use with them. As a result, it's essential to understand the types that are not fully compatible with... Misusing them. Prime example. You want to display the player's health and interface. Your code tracks health as a whole number. A value of the type integer, short for integer. However, the display on the player screen wants text. It needs type. You can add two strings. It's the operator. That will work. Get a strange error. Huh? It tells you can't add values types of string and integer. They're incompatible. In this case, you need health number into a string. Converting values into string. Yeah, I kind of remember this. You can get text representation of a value by calling the string function, short for string, returns the argument as a new string. Yeah, that's. Converting strings into numbers. You can also convert strings into whole numbers, the decimal numbers using. And float functions. Those functions can convert what a player writes in a text into a number. For example, a number of potions to sell at once. Player input is 10 as a whole number. Yeah, some types are partially compatible. Most types are incompatible. For example, you can add or multiply an array with a number. Some types are partially compatible. For example, you can multiply or divide a vector by a number, which would multiply each by 10. This vector is that's vector, print this, and then multiply each by this, I'm assuming. Okay, cool. It's possible because other developers define the operation for you under the hood. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about under the hood stuff. However, you cannot directly add or subtract a number to a vector. You will get an error. That's why earlier lessons you had to access subvariables position. A surprising, however, take the following 3 divided by 2. What's the result? You expect 1.5, but it will run. Wait, what? That's because a computer, the division of 2 whole numbers should always result in a whole number. When you divide decimal numbers instead, you'll get a decimal as a result. Huh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty useful, actually. Even if it's just a 0, adding a decimal place tells the computer we want decimal numbers. Yeah. Types, you want to keep that in mind during your journey. Energy, display energy. Currently, code has a type we are trying to display number while the energy display function. The function is it expects a string. You can't change the energy variable setting it to would break the rest of the game's code. You must convert them. Display energy. Energy is 80. Can't do that there. Huh? Yeah, that's what I figured. I just wasn't entirely sure. Because it's literally just turning it into a string. Yeah, okay. Player input. Item count. Player input. Okay, hold up. In our game shops, we want to let the player type the numbers to select the number of items you want to buy or sell. We need to know the number of items as an integer, but the computer reads the player's input as a string. Your task is to convert the player's input into numbers for the using the integer function. Convert the player's input into a whole number. Result in the item count variable. Player input equals get player. What the flying fuck? Again, they throw all these fucking like this. This is a new function. That's new. So you don't even touch this. Because this is just predefined. Because it's also a function. I don't like how it does this. All right, this is it, boys. I think this is it. Specifying types with hints. By default, GDScript is what we call dynamically typed language. That means that you can write variables, assign them a value number, and assign them another value with a different type. Yeah. But for this feature often causes problem down the line. Let's take one example. Cell size, decimal number, or 2D vector. Games use grids all the time, be it for grid gameplay or make algorithms faster. When working with grids, you need to convert grid coordinates into positions, the game world all the time. To do so, you need to give cell and a size in pixels. You likely pick one of two types, the float or vector 2, because pixel positions on the screen use vector 2 coordinates. Either two values would be fine. Cell size is equal to 50, or, using vector could simplify some calculations, for example, when converting grid coordinates to game world coordinates. 50. Grid to world, cell, return cell times cell size plus cell size divided by 2. What does that mean? I have no idea. What is cell size? Okay, cell size is this, so it's 50. So cell, which is something, 50 plus 50, which is 100 divided by 2. So it'd be 50 because this is empty. Why would you do it like that if that's the case? In this example, both cell and cell size are vector 2 variables. We can add them. However, if cell size is a float, we'll get a type error. Both cell and cell size are vector 2 variables. What? Where? Sure. I'm just going to believe that they are. Cell size is 50. Grid to world cell. Cell times cell size plus cell size divided by 2. Run grid to world vector. I don't know. I really don't know. Worse, due to dynamic typing, we won't get an error right away. We'll only get an error while calling grid 2. What does this mean? I can't wrap my brain around it. Because then he's like, oh, return, which means to print it out. What's in here? What's in this cell that's being multiplied? I assume it's 0. Which PEMDAS, right? So parentheses, multiplication, which I guess the computer would just make it 0, plus 50. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know. Because we're learning, we'll only have small coding examples in this course, but your game's code will get long and split into many files. While coding, you often forget the code you wrote several weeks ago. And with a lot of code, it could take hours of play before a player triggers a type error in your code using type hints. Fortunately, it has optional type hints. Type hints let the computer know the value type if you want for variables and report the errors before running the code. To specifically with the type of variable to accept, you write down a colon and type after the variable name type equals value. So we could tell the computer you want cell size to only accept, right? Like so. Cell size vector 2 equals vector 2. Okay, so this is just typed. Okay, cool. If you try to replace cell size with the value of any entire layer, the computer will not let you. Okay. Figure it out. GScript sometimes feature called type inference, but not all computers can figure out the type and variable for you. To do so, you write without the type. The computer will set the type using the value equal sign. You could also make the cell a value of type vector 2, like so. So, variable cell size. This will set it to it. This takes a little typing, yet gets you the benefits of type hints like the computer reporting errors better and faster. Why bother to add hints? When you give the language hints like that, it will prevent major type errors. When you work, you will see that the computer can report issues as you write the code. It makes the benefit even greater. Type hints can also improve readability of your code, help you put more information directly in the code. As we saw, types are essential to coding. Our variables get the correct values, but not the right hints. Use your type foo and add correct type names in the variable's definitions. You need to write the type names between the colon and the equal sign. What? Decimal number has the correct hint. Text has the correct hint. What? So I just need to switch them around. Yeah, okay, so I just need to switch them around. That type foo shit threw me for a loop. Vector, oh yeah. Oh yeah. You have the type out string, which is kind of funny, but not integer. Man, I would love to like... The only other way around this practice, the type hints are fine, but the values are not. Your task is to fix with the equal sign so they match up. around in this practice. The type hints are fine, but the values are not. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. That's... We just made it official. Congratulations, you completed learning the script from zero. Now you have the basis you need to make games in the Godot engine. You can keep learning with free sites getting started with Godot. This is an open source project. Let's see what this is talking about. Alright, so we're done with that. We're back here. So, when did I start? 7... Well, in that case... Now that we're back here, what account is signed in right now? Yeah, I thought so. All right. What in the fuck is this? I'm not doing a watch along with you guys. We'll go watch this. You can't even look it up. Just look up dead load. There you go. Boom. Oh, what? This is a whole rabbit. Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna read playlists. Let's do that. Oh, wait. Is my stream all glitchy looking? Oh, no, it looks fine. Okay. All right.
Hey, everyone.
Did we watch all of this?
They both use GDScript. You're going to throttle some things if you want to expand more. And you can think of a scene as a blueprint or a prefab. And then it's going to put us...
Well, we're going to watch this again, I guess.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first video on Godot Dev Checkpoint. I'm Spaghetti Syntax, and if you're new to game development, I think this is going to be a good place to start if you want to learn Godot. I'm also a curious developer. I'm going to learn a lot of this engine right alongside you. Today, we're going to tackle the fundamentals. How to get the engine, how to start your first project. And here we're going to find the download latest. We're going to do that. We're going to find two.
Oh my god, I hate when it glitches out like this. It's completely glitched out. Let's do this.
Engines here.
There we go. I don't know why I did that. Oh no. Oh wait, here we go.
Now, which one do we want? We're going to want the standard one. That's going to use your GDScript. They both use GDScript, but this one also uses C#. If you're more familiar, mine is right here. And then the version we just downloaded, you here can open the console. We're going to open the stable version. I'm going to create a new project right here. Yours will probably be blank with no projects below it. If you've never done any Godot projects, regardless, top left here, we're going to create, and we're going to give it a memorable name like first Godot project. We also want to put it in a blank folder.
I like how I can,
like I have Godot projects here and Godot tutorials.
I like how I can't go back unless I'm here.
Project. We also projects.
So then, like, this is kind of redundant.
Left, here we're going to create, And we're going to give it a memorable name right here. Yours will probably be blank with no projects below it if you've never done any Godot projects. Regardless, top left here, we're going to create. And we're going to give it a memorable name, like first Godot project. We also want to put it in a blank folder. A memorable name here, we're going to create. And we're going to give it a memorable name, like first Godot project.
I'm tripping.
Once you open the Godot editor, you're going to create a new project right here.
Okay.
Yours will probably be blank with no projects below it if you've never done any Godot projects. Regardless, top left here, we're going to create. And we're going to give it a memorable name, like first Godot project. We also want to put it in a blank folder. You can pick one, like I have Godot projects here and Godot tutorials. We're going to put it here with nothing else. Select this current folder. Now we also want to look at these renderers. It might be confusing at first, but really we're just going to go with the forward plus for 99% of our projects. You can do mobile if you want to do mobile, and this will be fine for what we're going to make. It's just going to be a 2D thing. Compatibility, older devices, and it's going to render faster for the simple stuff. We can still even use this, but it's really going to throttle some things if you want to expand more. But it really doesn't matter in the end because you can change it whenever, however, even after your project's already done. For today, we're just going to do forward plus or mobile, but forward plus, we'll stick with that. Git, that's GitHub, repositories, version control. We don't have to worry about that. We can leave that as defaults, and we're going to leave edit now. So when we click create, this will just open up our first Godot project. Now, the first thing we're faced with are nodes. What are nodes? Well, the nodes are going to be your fundamental building blocks, basically, of your game. Think of them as specialized objects. You have nodes for displaying images like Sprite 2D.
Can't even use my function
You also have ones handling sound, control physics bodies, and ones that create interfaces like UI. They're always organized in this tree-like structure. You call them the scene tree. And one node is the parent of many children. Now, this hierarchy is crucial because the child nodes inherit properties from the transformations of the parents. Now, that all seems complicated, but it's really not. You'll see it in example form as we move on. Now, understanding the node tree is going to be the first big checkpoint. Now, you can find this documentation. I'm going to put links in the description below. And if you want to read through it, it's all here for you. Now, when you combine several nodes together to form a functional unit, then you get a scene right here. And you're going to save that as a .tscn file. And you can think of a scene as a blueprint or a prefab for a specific game object, like your player, an enemy, or a pickup item. The power of scenes is that they are reusable. You build one player scene and then you can instance or place a copy of that scene into your game level as many times as you want. If you update the original player blueprint, all the other instances update too. Let's jump back to the Godot editor itself. Let's dive into that. Now on the top left here, we're going to have our scene panel. Now this is where your node tree lives. You'll add, remove, and organize all your nodes over here. Top right, you have your inspector panel. Now when you select an individual node, all its settings like position, color, or texture appear here. Now your file system here is where your files lived, and scripts, images, audio, save scenes. Now keep this area tidy. It'll keep all your checkpoints relevant going ahead in your development future. All right, now we have an output panel down here. Now this is where you'll see all your error messages, and anything you're going to print from your code is going to end up here. And our center is a viewport. Now this is the main canvas where you visually build and arrange the scene. Notice the tabs at the top, 2D, 3D, and script. Now you're going to use all three of these very extensively. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Time to get our hands on the project. In the editor, click 2D scene right here. Now this is going to create a node 2D automatically as a root node. This is going to be the anchor for all of our 2D elements. Now we're going to make this scene visual. Now with node 2D selected here, like we have, I'm going to click this plus icon. We're going to add child node. We're going to search for sprite 2D. Now we're going to have sprite 2D selected and click create. Now with sprite 2D selected, we can go into the texture here. And this texture is going to be how we do display our image.
Wait.
Now we click in this empty slot here. We're going to be able to selected. We can go into the texture here. And this texture is going to be how we do display our image.
Holy fuck. Utterly useless. It did not used to do that anymore.
Now we click in this empty slot here. We're going to be able to go down to load. And how about we load the Godot icon itself. And there's the Godot icon. Now you can click and drag it around the scene itself. And then let's add a label for text. You can select the root node again. Click the plus icon, and let's do a label. Then you can press enter or just click create. Now with our label selected, we can change our text.
Fucking. It did not used to do that. I used to be able to control it. Oh my god, is it because this is like a newer, fresher account or something? Oh my god, is it because it's not my fucking YouTube Plus one that has the premium on it? Oh my god, that's exactly why it is. Fuck you, YouTube.
Next over here. Let's change it to welcome to Godot dev checkpoint. Now we can put this somewhere about right above our guy here. And there we have it. We built a scene. But now we have to save it. So let's go to scene up here. Now we're going to save scene as. And then it's going to put us right in our main folder here. But we're going to create a new one. So right click, new folder. Call it scenes.
Wait.
Keeping organized. You'll never regret it. Call it scenes. Now we have to save it. So let's go to scene up here. Now we're going to save scene as. And then it's going to put us right in our main folder here. But we're going to create a new one. So right click, new folder. Call it scenes. Keeping organized. You'll never regret it. Now this one, we're going to rename it to something more memorable, like say, welcome scene. So right click, and there we have it. We built a scene, but now we have to save it. So let's go to scene up here. Now we're going to save scene as, and then it's going to put us right in our main folder here. But we're going to create a new one. So right click, new folder, call it scenes. Keeping organized. You'll never regret it. Now this one, we're going to rename it to something more memorable, like say, welcome scene. And you click save. Now after we have this saved, we can run it. Now if you zoom out a little bit, you'll see these blue lines. Now that is going to be where your game is viewable. Without a camera attached to a character, It's going to stay within these confines here. So let's try to play it. Now we have the play buttons up here. Pause button, stop button for when we stop running the game. We also have some other ones we're not going to worry about quite yet. Let's just click on the run project. Now it says we have no main scene has ever been defined, so it wants you to pick one. And we're just going to let it pick the current one, because that's all we have so far. Later on, when you have like a main menu, we can make that our main scene. So for now, let's just select the current, and it's going to pop up. And this is our actual game running. Technically no game loop yet, but success. We've navigated the editor, built the node tree, run the very first scene. So congrats. This is the first checkpoint. Once you get across this, well, nothing but up from here. Today we learned nodes.
Well, okay, cool. That's great. So, I think
are the building blocks.
I think this
the
is good
scenes
to
are
end
the
the year.
reusable blueprints
I guess it's only
made
been
of
like an
those
hour and
nodes.
some change.
We learned how to build and run.
No,
a
it's
simple
9.
sheet,
So I started at
Node
7. It's
2D,
been like
Sprite
2
2D,
hours.
and a label. In the next video, we're going to take this static scene we have here and give it some life by writing our first line of code. We're going to use some GD script. We're going to tell it to output to this console here. Make it say something like, I don't know, hello world. Something standard like that. Now, if you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell.
Well, yeah, okay. So, what we'll do is just, I'm gonna try to get back on this. I'm gonna try and get back on it. I'm gonna try and stay on it. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start watching these videos. I'm gonna probably have to start watching them on my other account. I kind of wanted to keep these separate to keep them organized and whatnot, and so it doesn't fuck up, any of algorithms or whatever. But that's it. It's gonna screw me over with this pop-up video thing that I'm definitely gonna be using a lot of. So, but other than that, we'll get there. I will definitely try to be here Wednesday. Now that we've completed all those tests, we're just hoping that, how a person explains it to me rather than a wall of text will help. What the heck was that? In the meantime, I guess I'll just be chilling, and I'll see you guys later. There's got to be like a fast button to stop the stream, right? Or do I have to manually do it? It's probably a hotkey. Let's figure that out together. Settings, hotkey. So yeah, there, I don't have anything for stop streaming. So I guess we're doing it manually. Yep, I guess I'll see you.